40% of the exam of your score. Okay. After you're done with the multiple choice, you're not even going to get out of your seat. You're going to pass in the multiple choice, they're going to collect it, then they're going to pass out the SAQs. Okay? For the SAQs, when you start that, don't forget you get 12 minutes for each question. So you have lots of time for this. Write more than you think you should. That was our biggest problem last year was that we scored poorly on the SAQ. That's what impacted our score, so give them more. I think the first thing you should do when you get them, look over all 4 SAQs and pick the one you know least and save that one to the end. Answer all the other ones first. Still try to stay on the same time schedule, about 12 per. You don't need to rank them. You don't need to be like, this one's last, this one's first, this one. Just answer the one you know least last. And then it'll happen. You're going to read the 4 SAQs, and one of them you're going to look at and be like, what's that? And then you're going to read the other ones, and there'll be another one that you're like, okay, that's an Industrial Revolution question, but I don't know what it's asking. But you still know that better than the other one. So do the other one, do that one last. Okay? Remember, be as specific as you can, but there's no like synthesis or rubric or something, but include specifics. And then you end the SAQs, and that's the end of section 1. Questions on the SAQs? No? Yeah?
For the practice tests that I have with the requirements for all of them, will we have that on there?
For the SAQ, you're thinking for the DBQ, it does. Yes, it'll have that sheet where it says, do all of these things. Yeah. That was the actual exam a year ago. So now you get like a 10-minute break. Okay, basically just time to get up, stretch your legs, give your brain a little rest, hit the head if you need to, and then you'll be back in for section 2. Okay? I have in my hand a copy that I obtained of the actual proctor instructions for the AP Euro exam. I had to bribe, threaten, and shiv somebody to get a copy of these. So this is pretty valuable stuff. Either that or I just went to the website, downloaded it, and supplied that for you. But there was a lot of clicks. And so it was kind of the same as like bribing and shivving somebody for it. So you're going to get to section 2 and you're going to walk in, you're going to sit down, they're going to pass everything out. They say section 2 is 1 hour and 30 minutes. This includes a 15-minute reading section, blah, blah, blah. During the reading period, you are advised to read question 1 and plan your answer. And then after 40 minutes, you'll be advised to move on to the next question. It says you may now open the orange booklet, an exam booklet, and begin the 15-minute reading period. You're going to kind of do that, but not really. Keep in mind our system that we have. You're going to bypass the DBQ first thing. You're going to go and look at the 2 LEQs. You're going to pick which one you know better. And then you're going to take 5 full minutes and plan that LEQ. Okay? What are you doing in your planning? You're writing down specifics, you're developing a thesis, and you're getting your synthesis. Okay? 5 full minutes to do that. You can get a lot done if you stay focused and concentrate for 5 minutes. Then you're going to flip to the front of the book after you're done with that, and you're going to read the DBQ question, figure out what it's asking, and then you're going to do that voodoo that you do so well that you've been doing since August and start breaking down documents. Okay, figuring out what the question's asking and how you can use these documents to answer the question. And you're going to spend a full 15 minutes planning your DBQ. So that means you're making your groups, which is going to give you your thesis, you're thinking of your contextualization, your beyond the docs, and your synthesis. All of those things we did for all of those DBQ quizzes. Now, you're going to be about 2/3 of the way planning your DBQ. And the proctor is going to say, your 15-minute reading period is up. We now recommend you move on and begin the test. Okay? They're going to say you have 1 hour and 15 minutes remaining to complete section 2. And you're going to look up and noddily polite your head and smile, and then ignore her. Finish planning your DBQ. Full 15 minutes to plan. You'll still have at least 5 extra minutes at that point after she says that. Keep planning. Get all of your planning done. As soon as you're done planning your DBQ, then you're going to write your DBQ. You're going to start with your introduction, your contextualization, your thesis goes in there. Your body paragraphs are going to have your beyond the docs, your points of view, using the documents, going through them all. You're going to be about 2/3 of the way through your DBQ, And then the proctor's gonna say, you are advised to move on to the next question. Answer either question 2 or 3, but not both. And once again, you're gonna nod your head and smile and ignore her. And finish your DBQ. You still have time. Finish your DBQ. As soon as you finish your DBQ, your brain is spinning, your hand is hurting, you're starting to panic, you're getting worried, and then you're gonna flip back to the LEQ and you're gonna see you already planned it. So now all you need to do is make that into an essay. So you're gonna start writing your essay, your introduction, you're gonna go through, you're using specifics, you're supporting your points, and then you're gonna hear something, you're gonna be about 2/3 of the way done with your LEQ, and the proctor's gonna say something that freaks you out. The proctor's gonna say, there are 10 minutes remaining. And you're gonna have like this moment of panic, because you're like, I still have to finish my paragraph and write my conclusion when it has my synthesis in it, and I only have 10 minutes and I'm never gonna finish. Yeah. Okay, as long as you've got all that stuff planned already, you're going to be just fine. And you're going to finish your conclusion that has your synthesis in it. You're gonna finish it out. You'll have some time to taunt the test, and then you're done. And then time will be up. They'll collect all the stuff, and you have the most Friday that you've ever had, because you'll walk out of here and you'll be done. Yeah.
When we get the scores.
July. Anything about the actual test that you'd like to talk about?
Can you just go through like how many, like beyond the dots, and
At least 4 points of view, and I recommend 2 beyond the dots. You only need 1 beyond the dots. I suggest 2 to make sure that you get it.
There's 4 POVs like covering it, or do you need 3 or do you?
Minimum is 4, so you should do 5.
Okay, so you should do like.
Yeah. But I think at this point, I think a lot of it, you will find you are doing points of view automatically with most of the documents. Because you guys know now not to treat these documents as statements of fact. And so a lot of times you end up doing that without even consciously doing it. But 5 should be the goal. Or, yeah.
So if you get half in multiple choice right, you're already on.
You are in line for a 3, and a 4 is still in potential. If you get a 50% on multiple choice.
So what should we get to try to get more?
Better than that.
So like,
There's a test calculator in the practice test I use. I don't do math. There's decimal points involved. I think there was parentheses too. What the hell those are doing in a math equation? Stupid derivatives. That's not part of it. All right, I want to very quickly talk about our OSP. Okay, this is our OSHIT protocol. Okay, I've never had to have anybody enact this since 2006. I've been doing this. Okay, so the OSP is worst case scenario. The OSP is you're writing your DBQ. You've already planned your LEQ. You've already planned your DBQ. You're writing your DBQ. You're into writing your DBQ. And you go back to check something real quick in the question, and all of a sudden you realize you're not answering the question that they asked. Like you're answering something closely related, but you all of a sudden realize that you just like veered, and you aren't answering the question asked. Take a moment, take a deep breath, calm yourself, and then double check. Make sure you're really not doing the right thing before you do anything else. Okay? Then, if you are indeed doing the wrong thing, very calmly, just cross out everything you've done and start again on the DBQ. Plan the DBQ, write the DBQ. The DBQ is worth 25%. The LEQ is only worth 15%. DBQ is a quarter of your final score. You want to do well on that. You need to leave yourself 5 minutes to write your LEQ. That's part of the OSP. 5 minutes. I'll explain what you're going to do then. So you get all of that time, whatever was remaining after you realized you made your mistake, to do your DBQ. All right? Then, in those final 5 minutes, and you're going to freak out. There's going to be the moment where you're like, the proctor says there's only 10 minutes remaining, and you're like, I haven't even started my last essay yet. Okay? Don't worry. When there's 5 minutes left, then you're going to do the LEQ. And basically, you're going to do what I call make your planning fancy. You already have the stuff planned, right? You should already have a thesis, some key specifics, and a synthesis. Write your thesis. make a couple extended bulletin points of your specifics, and then write out your synthesis. If you do those, you have a decent shot of a 3 on the LEQ out of 6. Which, by the way, if you got a 3, that would still be better than the national average on the LEQs. Okay? And even if you only get a 2, that is infinitely better than a 0. That part of math I'm familiar with. Okay? But again, like I said, if you stick to the timing that I have given you, as far as planning and as far as going through the DBQ, you don't have anything to worry about. I just have the OSP because it makes people feel better that there's a protocol. Okay, we've never had to enact it, but it makes people feel better that there's something there. Like I have a safety net just in case. Okay? Now, I have one other thing to share with you. I have my predictions for the LEQs. Okay, there you go. So I have been making predictions every year since since I started doing this, and my track record is pretty impressive as far as getting the questions, as far as predicting what they're going to have. I don't want to say I'm perfect with it, but I mean, let's just say that I've never been right with what I think is going to be on the exam. Okay? I've never, ever gotten it. Which means what? I think we talked about it in this class. This is the year. I'm
Gamper's
due.
pal- Gamper's
I've been doing
fallacy.
this for a while now. So this for sure is the year that I'm going to get. From last year, I started over last year, by the way, since I was over since 2006. But last year with the new exam, like I decided that I get to start over now, okay? So now I'm just 0 for 1, which isn't that bad. So these are the questions that were on the test last year, okay? The questions that they released for the LEQs, but then, yeah, both of them were with that. The Bismarck question, that was really high. And then the other question was essentially Louis XIV as an absolute monarch. 1700 to 1850, because that's a political question, and it's also individuals in society, states, and other institutions of power. 1700 to 1850. Challenges to royal sovereignty. And then the influence of the masses on politics, 1800 to 2000. If you actually go through every slide and go through that line by line and try to fill that all out, it would take you like 8 hours. I do not want you to do that. I want you to spend 1 hour on this